involvement in society. Our second element, which is writing, refers to the encouragement of thinking, interpretation of thoughts, and the organization of thoughts as well. Our third element, which is listening, refers to the ability to listen and comprehend information that is shared through sound. So you might hear something different when you are actually told something that is the polar opposite of what you heard. Technology refers to the use to manage and to understand and assess it, to assess technology. Creativity involves the arts, songs, and other hobbies, and this is the element that highlights the importance of hobbies. Talking refers to oral language, speaking, the ability to share points and to engage in conversation. And my last point, which is viewing, refers to what you can interpret from pictures and visuals like videos and the like. So my first speaker, Simon Tetwa, is a mathematician. Simon Tetwa boasts a PhD in mathematics from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. He founded an organization called Tetwamatics, and he has an organizer, and it's an organization that aims to teach mathematics effectively in schools while breaking the stereotypes. He also has a virtual mathematics competition, which he will tell us about today. Good afternoon, Simo. How are you?
Good, Gopal. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Simo. So I think where we will start today is
wow,
passion.
This is nice.
Can you start by telling us about your passion for mathematics?
Okay, greetings. My name is Simon Tetwa. I'm from KwaZulu-Natal.
We cannot hear. We want to hear that voice. We can't hear.
I was saying I'm Simon Tetwa from Mpangeni, KwaZulu-Natal. Kopana wanted to talk about my passion for mathematics. Yeah, it's a thing that started at a young age, but also along the way I've met people who have helped me to actually pursue a career out of my passion, which is mathematics. I don't know whether that suffices.
Thank you, Simo. So what we will be talking about next is breaking the stereotypes, which is what your organization aims to do, which is one of the aims of your organization. And after that, we will follow with careers in mathematics.
Yeah, we have different layers of stereotype or misunderstanding when it comes to mathematics. One of them is what you just mentioned, that mathematics does not actually have jobs or career paths, which is so there's so many different levels of the stigma around the subject. I think from my own view, I think it has been passed from generations to generations. So it's kind of a tradition now that mathematics is actually difficult and designed for a specific group of people. So, which is not true, by the way. Mathematics is actually a doable subject, an understandable subject. It's just like other subjects. A question of whether you're going to excel in mathematics or not, that's a different question. But in terms of understanding and just gripping the whole concept of mathematics, that's very doable to everyone, or for everyone. I think no one should actually fail mathematics at a school level, because it is really, really understandable. It's just that we have a belief or this stigma around it. So some people don't even want to try mathematics. Some people were told by some friends or parents that they cannot do mathematics. Mathematics is difficult, and they never actually tried it. And they actually, even then, they pass on that message to the next people, which is actually, I think that's where, that's one of our, of the loopholes. Mathematics is just a language, man. If you can learn isiSotho and speak isiSotho fluently, if you can learn isiZulu, learn that language, learn English, that means you can also learn mathematics. It is a language. It's just that, just like any other language, it's better when it's taught at an earlier stage. It is very easy to understand if it's taught at a very, very earlier stage. What usually happens is that in our schooling system, teachers usually get serious about mathematics from grade 10 upwards. Now you have someone who hasn't been really paying attention to mathematics. You want them to pay attention at the 10th grade. And this is why we actually have such, you know, low pass rate in the end, because we did not develop from the bottom. You'll agree with me if I tell you now that if I were to teach you isiZulu that is spoken by people KwaNongoma, if I teach you now Kopana, it's gonna be a bit different or a bit difficult. But if I teach you that at a tender age, say at an age of 5, 6, 7, you could easily comprehend that, and then it's gonna be just in you, and it's a language. It's a language. So this is what we are all about as mathematics, that we should be teaching mathematics as a language of expression rather than as a subject that is difficult and designed for a certain group of people. Coming to the competition, that the visual competition that you just touched on, this is just another way of trying to get rid of the stigma, because you know, we have a large group of people in social media right now. So it only makes sense to kind of go to that space and try to influence those people in that space, the social media space, to say, look, mathematics is actually doable, and we actually give them these tasks, the easy tasks that is supposed to show them that actually mathematics is doable and is easy.
Sorry. Thank you, Simo, for that. You know, you touched on one of the elements of literacy when you also spoke about language. And it's very true that it takes you a while when you're older to understand new concepts and new ideas, rather than when you start at a tender age where you can where you can function and process things a lot easier, because it's at the age of 3 where kids can learn up to 4 languages at the same time, and by the time they're teenagers, they speak all 4 languages very fluently. So yeah, Simo's right about one point. Actually, he's right. Can you also please take us through careers in mathematics, please?
Yeah, I forgot to touch on that. Sorry. Thanks for reminding me. As I mentioned, man, from my own experience too, I used to tell my mother that I want to be a mathematician, and she will usually ask what that is. And when I tried so hard to explain to her, but she couldn't really comprehend what exactly the point was. So that also speaks to the stigma. There is a belief that mathematics, if you are a mathematician, you can only be a teacher, and that is a period, which is not true, because right about now we have what I call a new kid on the block. We have what we call data science. Data scientist will be someone who obviously studied mathematics at a university level, or at the very least attained a degree in mathematics, or an undergraduate degree in mathematics and maybe statistics. And they usually work at banks, and all other financial institutions as well, your insurance companies and things like that. What do they do? They actually just provide solutions that might to problems that a bank might actually encounter. If I may make another example of where this thing of data science works, if Kopan right now, if you go to your social media, go to your Facebook, there are adverts that you'll normally see without really asking for them. You would see a Nando's or whatever, but that is just the information that was collected from your searches. Actually, your adverts are not the same as my adverts. My adverts will be really personalized to what I search on Google, what I write on social media and things like that. So they do this, there's this thing they call big data. They collect all these data and then sell things to you according to your behavior or what you actually type on a day-to-day basis. That's how this thing of data science works. But there's a lot of understanding of models, there's mathematics behind it. So this is why someone who wants to be a data scientist must at the very least have a mathematics degree, and then maybe they can do programming and things like that. But yeah, that's just one career. That's a new kid on the block, as I said. We also have other careers, your data analyst, the mathematicians usually, they get hired at financial institutions and, things like your insurance companies, banks and things like that. There's a lot. There's business analysts. One of my friends is a business strategist at FNB, and what he did was mathematics and statistics. We actually went to the same class. There is actually a lot that people don't know about, and I feel like it's kind of hidden from people, and I do not really understand why is it hidden, because we should be using or utilizing these career paths to kind of sell mathematics to the kids or to the public at large. There are so many different paths, man. You have someone who's like me, who does research in mathematics. There are people who are just doing purely research in mathematics, and they get paid for that by, you know, research institutions like your CSIR, your NRF, your even universities, even some universities, most universities would have a research chair for someone who wants to just do research in that particular area, and mostly in science and mathematics. We have things like that. And academics in general, you know, someone who wants to maybe to become a lecturer and things like that. There is just a lot that I feel like it's hidden. Kids don't have access to this information, and I don't see why they shouldn't have access to this information. I mean, as a kid, all I knew was I wanted to be a mathematician, and I believe that a mathematician is someone who writes books in mathematics and come up with new solutions and things like that. That was my conception of a mathematician back then. But you know, as I grew, came to tertiary level, I did my research. I then understood that there is actually more that I can do with it than what I thought. And I don't see why I actually have to do research to know about all this, because this, to me, I feel like it should be just general information, which just like you can be a doctor, a lawyer, a policeman. That should be like that. It should be, you can be a data analyst, you can be a business strategist, you can be a data scientist, you can be a lecturer, you can be an academic. This should not be hidden until you reach a certain point, because by that time you reach, it's just gonna be, the number is just gonna be too small. You know, this also speaks to, you know, the underrepresentation of African mathematicians. I feel that this lack of information, it kind of diverts people to other career paths. By the time we become aware of this, there's already like a small number of us, you know. So this is why I try by all means that kids should actually have access to this information without even paying or asking for it. Yeah, that's one of the ways we can actually get rid of the complaint that we as African are underrepresented in the academic space, in science and things like that. The first step is to try and get the information out there and maybe do other necessary measures. But the information is very important to actually distribute the information and make sure that things like this are known. I think I'm talking a lot, but yeah, let me just pause there.
Thank you so much for all that information. Yeah, your mathematics is like a hidden society, basically. So I think for us to get to that level of understanding, it's still going to take several efforts to get the world and Africa and the schooling system there. So on my last point, can you please tell us about how mathematics interacted with people during COVID?
Yeah, one of the things is what we just spoke about, the visual mathematics competition. It's not really that much of a competition. It's just a way of getting the information across. It's a way of getting a word out there. What we did, we just broke it down to different categories. So there's what we call the public category, which would be people like you, Tamsang, and Tuto and everybody, you know, we asked them to go and do a little research on what a Pythagoras theorem is. And we believe that by them doing that, it's a start. It's not a big thing, but it's a start. Even if you look at the task that we gave, you know, your junior phase, your intermediate phase, the kids that are in grade 4 to 6, we asked them to do a little research on what really is a data scientist. So by the time they send us these videos and things like that, they would have an idea of what a data scientist is and what must be done to become one. And with sharing these videos, I so hope that we just spread the word across. It's not really, it's just a competition because there's a lot of people involved, but I look at it as just a way of getting the information out there, either from the content part, things like Pythagoras theorem, or from the careers, and just getting the word out there that actually we can do this mathematics thing. It's not what we think it is.
Thank you so much for for all this information, Simo. Definitely, I think I learned a few things. I hope our audience has also learned a few things. I also hope that the audience knows about tetramathematics and can engage in the virtual mathematics competition. So can you please tell us where we can, you know, find the competition, etc., and engage with tetramathematics?
Okay, you can just, from our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Tetramathematics, I believe you'll find the information there. And if you are someone who wants to be professional, if I may say, you can also visit our website. Some information will be there as well. Our website is just www.tetramathematics.co.za. So it's just, I hope that everybody in the audience, excluding Tamsanga, of course, excluding Tamsanga because he's already contributing in some sense, but everybody else, I hope that they find it in their heart to participate, make those videos, explain the Pythagoras theorem to us, send the videos to that number that is indicated there on WhatsApp, and stand a chance to win yourself a very expensive phone and things like that. So let's get the ball rolling, guys. Kopano, you are on mute.
Yes. That's okay. You are muted.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Guys, that was our mathematician, Dr. Simo Mthethwa. You can engage with Mthethwamatics on their website and on their Facebook page, and that's where you'll find out more about the virtual mathematics competition. Simo also explored a few elements of literacy, which is technology, reading, creativity, viewing. Thank you so much, Simo. Our next speaker is Tamsanga Mahlangu. Tamsanga is the founder of Ndebele Students Association. He is Wits most outstanding student leader for 2019, and he's also a part of the virtual mathematics competition, and he is going to tell us more about the virtual music and poetry competitions the Ndebele Students Association has had. But first, let us welcome him. Good afternoon, Tamsanga. How are you?
Good afternoon, Kopano, and everyone else. Sorry about that. I was just laughing at Usimo a bit. Okay, it's fine. Okay. My name is Tamsanga Mahlangu, and I am the founder of the Ndebele Student Association. Do I proceed or?
Please continue.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, what we do as the Ndebele Student Association, it's just it started off as an association that was it's founded to address the needs and the necessity of the Ndebele students at our campuses at university level. So yeah, well, some of the things that we do is to have we have programs for high school kids, whereby we will be engaging something similar to what we do with Mposula, but on a level that we are breaking down all faculties of that are found in the university to explain the careers in depth, so that we can get the information out there. So those are just one of the things that we do. However, during this pandemic, there has been a need for us to find other ways of engaging with the general public and being on the ground. So with that need, there was a campaign that we were running, we're still running, and the campaign is to promote the usage of African languages creatively. By all African languages, we are talking about Chivenda, Chitsonga, Setswana, Isulu, Xhosa, Isindebele, Shona, Swahili, and everything. So with that, we just saw a need that, okay, let us rather have a program that will have everyone interacting in the sense that they will be learning each other's languages. At the same time, they will be addressing issues that are affecting us currently as a society, social ills to all other things, something similar to those things. So so we just started off by saying, okay, let us start with a virtual poetry competition. So the virtual poetry competition was basically to give a platform to poets to express themselves in their African language, in their mother tongue. And as I think it is a quote from Nelson Mandela saying, if you speak someone's language, it's close to their heart as compared to maybe using a foreign one. Yes, something along those lines. So we just felt that maybe if societal ills to all other things can be addressed in our languages, perhaps people or the general public can be more engaging in finding the solutions to eradicating or alleviating the problems. Yeah, of which that's what everyone did. And the competition ran for 5 weeks. Yes, it ran for 5 weeks, and it got attention from public figures like the public protector of South Africa, to these other ones, the musicians and actors, of which it sort of encouraged the poets that were engaging in it to showcase their talent fully. And yeah, then it moved on to, owing to the success of the poetry competition, we saw a need that we should also be inclusive of the musicians, people that do music, and we will also challenge the musicians who are only doing music in English to say, can you take a challenge of you maybe like committing yourself to doing a song 1 minute 30 seconds in your language, or any language that you know that you are fluent with, an African language of your choice. And then that's when people started to participate. Yeah, and the pertaining the virtual musical competition one, the winners they won it also went for 5 weeks, and the winners of the competition are going to be collaborating with Kid X and Lilo NTK. Those are hip-hop artists, South African hip-hop artists, who have showed interest to the program itself, to say it really is impactful in giving platform to people that make music and they have a need of some form of exposure. So yeah, that's on the virtual and the musical one.
Thank you so much for that. So what I also want to know is, because you mentioned the timeline for these competitions is very long. 5 weeks is quite a long time. So can you please explain what it was like running such a competition during lockdown, and having to determine winners, having to determine who goes on to the next level, and the whole process?
Okay, thank you for that. It was a bit of a challenge in the sense, well, at the beginning, on the virtual musical one, because there was an assumption from my side that it would be as smooth as the poetry one, because there's like a different way of doing things between the two. So the virtual poetry competition one, it was fairly easy on the basis that the only thing that the poets needed to do was to just recite anything written. But as compared to the musical one, it was a challenge time-wise from the artists, because they have to go through a process of thinking how are they going to execute the given topic as relative to those of the poetry one, because it's not easy writing poetry, but it's fairly easy as compared to having to write a hook, a bridge, and a verse of a song, and having to like stick to a time that was given to you. So I think the challenges were just there, but they were minimized by having a team of people who are musicians themselves too, because Dr. Simon Mtetwa is a part of the executive member of our board as NSA. So as he was part of the competition, he also played a pivotal role in terms of the structure of the competition, because he's more musically gifted than I am, so he would understand other things better than me and the other team. So I think having a team also helped, assisted. A bigger team was needed for a musical one as relative to the poetry one, and and then in terms of the deciding of who wins and so forth, for the poetry one, it was strictly based on from the public's opinion. The poets had to campaign for their videos to be liked by their friends, families, and other people that are following our page, to just like the video as a form of a vote. However, with the musical one, we had to have a panel of judges who are going to listen to the material that is submitted to us and rate it according to the criteria that we were using each week. At the beginning of the competition, the criteria was fairly easy, but as we went to other levels or rounds, it was changing to being more difficult because the industry of music itself, it is not as easy as it looks. So it just needs a bit of people to be on their feet. So we were scrutinizing even those small details from the songs. So yeah, that's how the musical one. And the musical one was broken down into a panel of judges and public vote on a 50-50 basis. And then yeah, the musicians had to campaign on to the public to vote for them, and that will count only 50%. And on the other side, they would have to impress the judges to get either like the entire 50% or maybe 23, because we have had a case of someone who got like, I think, a 13 or 23 from the judges, because the stuff wasn't as impressive, but they balanced with the public vote, so it was fair to say at least you still have something to hold on to say I campaigned, and yeah, that's how the
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so what the elements that Samsanga has touched on are creativity, listening, technology, writing, which are elements that we've engaged a lot with during lockdown, elements that we've gotten to know better, elements that we have been able to explore more and grow into. So where does one go, Tammy, to engage with the Ndebele Students Association and to check out the proceeding of the competitions, etc.?
Okay, we are found on social media. On Facebook is a Ndebele Students Association. It's the page there. On Instagram is at NSA Official 17. On Twitter is just at Ndebele Students. Yes.
Thank you so much for that, Samsanga. Definitely, we learned a lot about what has happened during lockdown, regards to how the competition was run during lockdown, and how people got to explore different talents, and how people got to grow in those talents and still be able to explore literacy while they're having fun. So my next speaker is Beauty Blennis. Beauty Blennis is a mechanical engineering student. She's 19 years of age, and she is a member of COSAS. She's a member of COSAS. Before Beauty speaks, if there's anyone who'd like to engage with the speakers, can we please wait until my last speaker, Beauty, is done? And then we will open the floor for speakers who would like to, for members of the audience who would like to engage with our speakers. So let us welcome Beauty.
Thank you very much for the
Hello,
opportunity.
Beauty, are you?
Can you hear me?
Hi, Beauty, I can hear you. Welcome to the Literacy Day session. Can you please explain like just a little bit about yourself? Yeah.
Okay. as you've mentioned that I'm 19 years of age, studying mechanical engineering, and I'm an entity member of COSAS, which is the National Task Team member of COSAS. So I'm going to explain how I joined COSAS because it's a learners movement and it's more political rather than, you know. So COSAS is a learners movement that advocates for the rights of learners. It ensures that the safety and the health of learners is secured all the time, and also we basically engage in political topics. So yes, I think that's briefly enough.
Thank you, Beauty. So with Beauty, we won't actually be going that much into the elements of literacy, but what we will be showing is what happens when literacy or the process of literacy or some of the elements of literacy are disturbed. Because definitely during this time of lockdown, although people have grown creatively and in other spheres of literacy, there are other elements of literacy which definitely have been disturbed. So, Beauty, as a student who studies mechanical engineering, can you please tell us what your experience of learning during lockdown and probably the beginning stages of having to find your feet with online learning? Yeah.
Sorry, Osle, sorry, can you please just repeat that? I got disturbed by a phone call.
Beauty, what I was asking is for you to take us through the beginning stages of learning, of online learning during lockdown, and how that kind of disturbed the usual way of learning you're used to.
Okay, well, initially, prior to the lockdown period, we were resuming for exams. So we're already done with our test. We were basically preparing for exams. So when lockdown commenced, we could not go for exams. And one thing that we've been struggling with together with my school is that the communication system between the learners, the students rather, and with the school is very bad. There was no communication at all. So as students, we had to take it upon ourselves to decide as to, are we going to study or are we going to wait until the school communicates with us? So as an individual, what I then did was I studied, but we went into April, we went into May, we went into June. There was no form of communication, and we could not even call the school because at that point, nobody's at the office, you know. And then they send us email saying that we should continue studying for exams, but we can't go to the campus because of the lockdown restrictions. So, well, as an individual, studying was very much difficult. Not really difficult because as a student, you're used to studying on your own, but there's no form of motivation because you're at home. The school is not even communicating that much with you. So it's a thing of, I'll only touch my books when the school sends an email or whatsoever. But in terms of reading and trying to keep up with my work, it hasn't really been that effective, out of honesty. And the modules, there are some of the things that you need to engage your lecture on, but fortunately we have the internet, so if there's something that I could not understand or if I needed to make reference to something, I would go on the internet. But because I'm doing mechanical engineering and I'm not from a technical school, when it came to drawing, because we do drawing as well, it was a challenge. Because what I would usually do is I would interact with my mates and I would send them text, when are we meeting? Let's go to the library, let's do this and do that. But because we couldn't do that, it was a challenge. Yes.
Thank you, Beauty, for that. I mean, from one engineering student to another, I can imagine how horrible it must have been to not know the drawings and etc., because the drawing can really be horrible. I mean, that's also another element of literacy that we have to look at. When it comes to drawing, you have to look at it's not just the drawing, you know. You have to look at it in different angles and be creative about how you will start the drawing, how you will carry on with the process of drawing until the finished product. Okay, so Beauty, can you please tell us about how your education has improved since the communication has picked up and since you've settled into online learning?
Okay, in terms of the improvement, it's not that much. Because what we then did is, as soon as we were permitted to go back to campus, we resumed immediately for exams. So I just started with my last part of the year. So I've been on holiday for a month after writing the exams. So the communication hasn't really improved that much because, like I'm saying, after lockdown, we went straight into exam. They gave us like, I think 3 weeks of studying and then went straight into exams. So for now, it's functioning as normal. But in terms of how we're going to work next year, it's not yet clear.
Thank you so much, Beauty, for taking us through your experience as a learner and what it was like for me to be like disturbed when you're used to a constant state of like, you know, a normal routine of learning, of going to campus and coming back and engaging with other students for better understanding. Okay, thank you so much, Beauty. So do we have any questions from the audience, from anyone who would like to engage with the speakers?
Hi, Kopano.
Good afternoon, Namti. How are you?
I'm good, and you, ma'am, and you?
I'm good.
I have a question. Okay, cool. Thank you. I have a question for our previous speaker. He spoke of writing music. I just have one question for him, or maybe two.
Okay.
I forgot his name.
Yes, I'm with you.
Tammy.
Hi.
Hi, Tammy. Okay, I just have one question. Since we talking about language and writing literacy, with your students, what do you encourage? Do you encourage them to write in their mother tongue languages? And what have you done, like in learning from the Kingdom artist amadala, like the Abo Hot Sticks Mabuse and the way they used to write music? How are you incorporating it from, let's say, like the youth now? The thing is, I have a problem with young artists. Every time when they write music, they try to sound as your Jay-Z or your Beyonce or your, but now I think, what is it that you want, like Indonesia, I would say, to make them to be more original? And do you have classes where you teach them about how to have their own sound? Because I believe everyone is struggling to have their own sound. So how do you how do you mentor them in that regard?
Okay. Thank you for that question. It's a good one. Okay. I'll start off by saying the association itself, it is not primarily made for things in the art field. However, what happened was that you cannot separate things that have to do with culture, tradition, and everything from art, because they are intertwined. So reaching out to the artists themselves, that is one of the things that we are trying to eradicate, because music is a powerful tool. So if we are going to, because we are for the decolonization of our nation, so in that sense, we have to decolonize people through the sound that we make ourselves, that is authentic and is representing us for us. So with having such a program, we took people that make music in English. Obviously, some of them sound like the Jay-Z's and everything. We saw a need since our music has not been sounding organic. It just sounds like we are living in America, whereas we are here. So we just we just gave a good incentive for the people to explore the idea of doing music in their language. The only thing that I can say that really got the people to be interested and to partake was the incentive. And from the incentive itself, others have reached out to say, actually, I think I have found myself now, because with what we are doing here, the person I was speaking about here, one of the people that they're going to collaborate with, Lilo NTK. Lilo is a Ndebele rapper. However, what he does is he does hip hop in the sense that he mixes Isindebele with hip hop, but the sound itself, it has the elements of that we use. Like there's something called Ifengwan within a trap Mandebele. Ifengwan, I think you can call it a whistle of some sort, but they're different. So he uses that. It's an element that is used when old ladies, when they are dancing, even with Abendazana, when they come back from Ekuteni, like it's a female initiation thing, when they come back, they use it. So he used the elements that we found in our own, culture and fused it into hip hop. And by doing that, it has some authenticity to a certain level. So even the people that reached out to the competition are the people that want to collaborate. However, they know that they will have to use their own elements, the elements from the Tsongas, from the Sutus to everything, to incorporate in their music to stand out. And that's what people did. So, and I think the other thing is that the winners of the competition are not doing hip hop. They are doing traditional music. However, we are going to make that work. We're going to have a session with them in the studio whereby so they're gonna explore like their their sounds, but we will find a way of fusing them together to make it work. So I think to answer your question is that we haven't really gave these people a session of some sort. We just gave them an incentive to start doing it, and they started doing that. So I think the only thing that is gonna happen now is just a build up from here, because we're gonna have we have a partnership with a radio station called AA2 radio station. It's a community radio station, but it's a bit well known, and we also think it's a commercial radio station that side. So what's gonna happen is that these artists who are doing music in their mother tongue, and we see that they have fused the elements from their cultures and so forth, they will be compiled on the show that we're going to have at AO2, so that their music gets some airplay. Yeah, so something along those lines. It's a long-term plan of supporting the artists who are making authentic music in their mother tongue by fusing the resources that they found here. I mean, there's a lot of inspiration within our nation, sure.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your time. Is there anybody else who wants to engage with our speakers?
Hello. Hello, can I come?
It is engineer. Yes, engineering.
Hello, how are you?
Hello. Hi,
well, thank you, engineer.
Good afternoon.
Engineer.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my name is Engineer Kalomba from Kenya.
Yes, engineer.
Yes, I have a question to the speaker who has just left the floor now. I am a mentor of the youth in Kenya, and of course, what we are discussing as music writing, and of course, what we are doing as African culture It's very interesting. My question would be, in music, do we have our own African instruments that we can support our music, writing and playing music? And then, of course, other cultures, they have their own alphabets. Do we have our own African alphabets which can support us on music, writing, and of course, so that we have secret in our own doing? Lastly, we have this issue that we used to say shorthand. When you are doing minutes or you're doing a program or you're writing anything, you use shorthand, then you can amplify shorthand into a system that you want. Do we still anchor ourselves on that as Africans, or we left our ground to go and join other people and they swallowed our systems? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Tamsanga, I believe that the series of questions is for you. Can you please join us again?
Yes, okay. No. Yes, Mr. Engineering, that is, thank you for that. I am in agreement with you, in fact, to say, because I think the problem here is that when you see we have been making replica of music from the US and these other, like UK. However, when we started, like when African artists, some of them, those who started making music that is more resonating with the people that are from here, the local one, using the African elements, instruments and so forth in the music, that is when it got to being it got to get on an international platform on the basis of its authenticity, because not everyone can be able to do that. So I think such a program would be a key one to actually maybe have a program whereby artists are to be taught how to play these indigenous instruments, because I think we have a lot of them. I wanna, like, if you follow the origin of marimba to these other ones, if they are to be fused in people's music, I think it could make a beautiful thing. So I'm in agreement with you. I don't know, did I cover your question, sir?
Yes, you have covered my question. You have covered my question, and of course, my biggest concern would be that our youth needs to be trained in how to make musical instruments. They need to be trained on how to use musical instruments. They used to know how to document music, and then they used to know how to record the music and blow it up into the rest of the world, so that we can run away from the rest of the cultures, so that we can anchor on our own culture. Then we can harmonize the whole of African countries, so that when we talk about musical instruments, do we have a curriculum and a training on music? And where do we anchor the curriculum? How do we certify? How do we progress? So that we have a degree in music. We have a diploma in music. That is the most important thing for me. My experience of 50 years in life, I know very well we can nurture our youth to.
Thank you for your engagement, sir.
So thank you very much.
For that, you can engage further with the Ndebele Students Association on their Facebook page, Ndebele Students Association. So I just got word that we have a question from Tudo. Tudo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. It's so encouraging, seeing youngsters, the youth doing such amazing things. I mean, it gives me an honor to actually be part of the platform, part of the entire association, part of the group, because I see now that we've got leaders within us, people that I know for a fact, or that I can see for a fact that I'm actually shooting to the top, and they're going to be the next leaders in South Africa and even the world. So it's quite encouraging for me to actually see that. For the speakers of today, I mean, well done. I think kudos to all of you. I think I've learned a lot from all of you actually for today. It is amazing. I just wanted maybe clarity from, I think you, Simu. Actually, Simu, immediately when you mentioned that you must actually Google that difficult word that I've just heard in my entire life, I did that immediately and actually heard that angles have curves and, so at least I've learned something today, which I'll never forget. But however, as well, your social media lines is Mtetwa Matrix. I've been trying to search for it. I cannot find it. Please assist with the spelling. Thank you.
It's MT. Just look at my surname, MTHETHWA.
Yeah.
Matix.
Yes.
M. Yeah, Matix.
With the X.
No. With C and S. So from my surname, and then MATI.
Yes. Yes.
ES.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
CS.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that question, to Dor, for that clarity-seeking question. Thank you for the words of encouragement as well. We were supposed to have the winner of the Ndebele Students Association poetry competition. Is she here?
No, I've been trying to reach her. I think she's having technical problems on her side.
Okay, thank you for talking to her though. The efforts are appreciated. Well, it seems like we have met the end of the session. I'd like to thank the speakers for engaging with us and for engaging with the audience. And what we take away from today's session, What we take away from today's session is that it is actually for someone to call another person illiterate, it is actually very hard for someone to pass a comment like that, seeing that we have 7 elements of literacy here, and just because one person does not meet one element of literacy, that does not make them illiterate, by the way. But thank you for the engagement. I will give the floor to Mama Debbie, who might have something to say. Mama Debbie, are you there?
I'm there. I've been listening. However, thank you so much. Thank you. I'll ask President Rebecca really to take over. I've been talking so much. So thank you so much. I've learned so much. But the Ndebele cultural people, can we refer them for next week? I thank you. Thank you so much. President Rebecca. Rebecca. President Rebecca.
Hello, President Rebecca, are you with us? President Rebecca, are you there? Okay.
President Lesego will take over.
Okay. President Lesego.
President Lesego.
President Lesego has asked us to ask Dr. Ayla first. Dr. Ayla, are you with us?
President Ayla was having some challenges also, but yeah. Anyway, let me close the session. Let's. President Lesego is there. President Lesego. Oh, you change it. Oh, you are so smart. Thank you.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Welcome, Dr. Ayla. It is such a pleasure to have you here.
I will not have, how you call it, I will not use my camera, but this is amazing, you know. I think literature, music, math, science are the glory of life. It's the art. This is the humanity, And this is why we are human. And this is what brings us far. And we really have to, you know, my son is mathematician. He loves mathematician. And I always tell him, like, try to find a new formula. Do you know that Pythagoras is actually, they learned the first math is from the Egyptian. Geometry is from Africa. And if I could say something that, you know, Einstein, like today I was telling a story about Einstein. Einstein actually never really make the new thing, but he expanding the theory of Hertz and Burns. So I think this is already there in Africa, you know. Pythagoras founded this Pythagoras equation. He found it, he learned from a scientist in Egypt. So I want to hear in 5 years, 10 years from now, there is new scientists from Africa towards this amazing speaker today. And I believe so, if you believe so. So let's encourage that. And don't forget where you came from. You are one of the inventor of geometry, algebra, astronomy. Bring it back, bring it back. Thank you. Love and light from Bogor, Indonesia.
Thank you so much for those beautiful words, Dr. Ayla. Definitely, there are more scientists and mathematicians who will come out of Africa as a whole. Thank you so much for being a part of us. I will move this platform to President Lesego. Welcome, President Lesego.
Thank you, Kopano. Dr. Simo, you have just motivated me 20-something years later. I used to hate maths. I hated maths so much when, you know, back in the day, they used to give you an option. When you got to grade 10, you could choose your subjects and choose whether you take maths or not. I left it at grade 9 because those numbers were just confusing me. So you've just given me hope. I think I'll try again. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Dr. Simo. Thank you, Tamsanga. We hope to see you again next weekend for the continuation of our Heritage Month celebrations. Thank you so much. Thank you also to Beauty. Beauty is now one of us in the youth group. Welcome, Beauty. She'll be assisting Babi with the education portfolio. Thank you so much to the presidents who availed themselves, Mama Debbie, Dr. Ayla, President Rebecca, President Tekezo. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend. Thank you, everyone. I think we will leave it here. Can I just ask Mrs. Nolutando to please pray for us, and then we end the program. Thank you.
Yeah, before the prayer, I think all of you here, you've got nephews, you've got nieces, you've got your brothers' children, brothers' kiddies. We've got kiddies leading change tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Please invite them so that they must come and share and be able to be global kiddies. We are requesting, please, please, please. President Lesego, get the contact of all the people who are participating here, and whether the child is 3 years, they understand the gadget, and you just sit with the child and show the child how this kid is leading change, how does it really work. Please, we are inviting you. Thank you.
All right, may I please all bow our heads so we can pray. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the sweet fellowship of the Holy Spirit rest and abide with us now. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives, and we shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Any music, any hip hop music, the African hip hop.
Thank
Any hip
you,
hop.
President Debbie, President
We want hip
Rebecca,
hop
President
music. We want to hip
Lesego.
hop.
Thank you, President Keketso.
Do we have any hip
Love
hop?
you all. Thank you, Thank you, Tuto. Thank you, all the speaker.
Thank you.
Any music,
Let's
hip hop.
make the new Pythagoras. Eh? We call them the new leading change. We call them, there is a special music in Africa that I like. I forgot the name, but let's create mathematic equation using that music name. Yes, so people love you all. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ayla. Yes, Tamsanga.
Music.
Simo is the artist here.
If you manage a team,
Music. African music, please.
Hi, Simo. Simo, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, Simo. Mama Debbie has requested some music. Can you please play a few strings for us?
There's some music there.
I don't know, for some reason.
Can I request
Casper.
Tutu. Tutu.
Okay, there you go.
Hello, Tutor.
I'm with you.
Tamsanga is trying to communicate with you.
Okay, Tamsanga, I'm with you.
Sure. G, can you please play something for us? Can you? It's a song. I want you to play a song.
Okay, I can find it. Which one is that?
Just type Lilo NTK.
Lilo MTK.
LILOW space NTK.
TK, okay.
Is that the hip hop?
Sure, it is hip hop.
Yeah. We'll meet at the back to the city.
Yes, now is the hip hop awards are coming.
Yes, so that we can nominate you.
Yes, Mama Debbie, back to the
back to the city. Hey, come on. Why are you laughing?
Tell me,
what is the problem?
Did you get it? It's a little.
If it's not there,
can you type it? Can you type it on the comments? Type it on the comments.
No, it's all right, guys. If it's not there, we'll hear it next week.
Let me
see. Just a second. He's gonna type it on the request.
May you please prepare it for next week?
No problem.
Next week at 11 o'clock, ne? Kopano will send you an invitation.
Can you finish that so that we can play it after, so that we can get used to it? Can he just give it to you, President Lesego, and then we close the session? Thank you.
Okay.
And then if ever it's his song, so that we can nominate him for the Hip Hop Awards, South Africa.
It's not my song, it's someone else's song, and they.
But do you know the Hip Hop Awards?
Pardon? Yeah, I
Do you know the Hip Hop Awards?
Yes.
Who runs them?
Osmic Munyo.
Yeah, so, okay, fine. Osmic. And TTP.
Sure.
You know them?
Yeah, I do know him. Even, who's that guy? Ooh, he's skinny and dark, yeah, with the glasses.
Mm.
Yeah, I know him.
President Debbie, when are we like a hip hop battle?
Eh, na hip hop pela. Na ke pela li youngsters na. I'm a hip hop person.
President Debbie attends all of these things, guys.
I attend everything. I'm 21 years. President Ailas is 16. I'm 21.
Yeah, ne?
Hi everyone, I'm back. So I think we've reached the end of the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. It's been a very fun session, a very informative session, and I hope we can have one like this again. I will see you guys at the next session. Thank you so much. Goodbye, everyone.
Yes. No hip hop song, nothing.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh,
amazing session, President Lesego. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm impressed.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye
Dr.
bye.
Anna.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
You know,